Now I have Essence Scatter with Miscast backup. Yeah, sure. Essence Scatter. Yep, and that is the GG. Yeah, we found our opening and we used it. Threat Assessment 101. GG. Hello YouTube, welcome to ImNotFine Day. Today we are going to have a look at Baral, Chief of Compliance in historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by just countering every single threat that the opponent can ever put out. It's as easy as that. So the deck is constructed in a way where it doesn't immediately fall apart if I do not have Baral out on the field. So that's why I have like these 1-mana counter spells in the deck as well, or some things like Archmage's Charm that don't get reduced by Baral. And the big takeaway from this deck is Baral has problems closing out the game after he countered a bunch of things, and you can solve this in like a couple of ways. First, some people play cards like Delver of Secrets or just 1-drop threats in a like Legacy Delver style, where they just protect the threat. You can just play more big things. And I've chosen the third option in playing more big draw spells. So you get to draw into your counter spells, but also get to draw into your threats, basically. We still have some big finishes, like Magic Mirror is a really strong one that just keeps the cards flowing and going and going. The really strong card here is Hullbreaker Horror. That's a control classic by now from the latest set. If you miss this card, you're living on a rock, basically. And yeah, we have a bunch of board wipes, we have a bunch of bounce spells, especially like these 1-mana bounce spells are really strong against Kinnan. That's why they're in here. Like if the Kinnan is on the play, these can just, like they play a 1-drop Dork, we then go 1-mana unsummon, or like we can just unsummon it their end step if we are on the play. So bunch of utility there, and we don't need Baral on the field. And the mana base is pretty clean. We play Snow for the Graven Lore, and Blast on Crawling Barrens are something to do with your mana at the end step, and just Vantress and Mystic Sanctuary are also pretty good. Yeah, this is it for the Decktech. Consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy my content, and let's jump straight into some gameplay. We are ready to play against Esika. Would rather say the Prismatic Bridge in most cases. Yeah, this is a fine starting hand. We have a Spell Pierce and a Syncopate. They really don't play creatures early, so like I don't need something like an Essence Scatter. Kind of want to hit my third land drop here. That would be amazing. Oh, well, would you look at that. And I think it's like a... I'm going to Spell Pierce that. Yep. And I can play Baral here, but I'd rather... I'm feeling much more safe with the Search for Azcanta now, and then next turn Baral and hold up a Syncopate. That seems pretty good in my opinion. Cultivate, sure. And I think I will pretty much very aggressively start binning cards for Search for Azcanta. Yep. Oh, perfect, that's a Consider. Now I have Syncopate up for 1 mana. That is pretty great. Elspeth's Nightmare, sure. Completely fine with that. Although that means that yeah, Elspeth's Nightmare is a real house here. I quite enjoy that card. When it works, it really works, because exiling the graveyard for search. Yep. Consider. I'm just going to continue to make steady land drops. And I'm fine with just passing the turn here, and if they take my Shark Typhoon, that's honestly really good for me. Because if they just take the Syncopate, I still have the Mission Briefing. So that's pretty good. If they have Spell Pierce up with their Esika here, that's problematic. Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'm going to Mission Briefing here. Ooh, yeah, I like that actually. And then Syncopate exiles it, right? So I'd rather do that. Yep. Yep. And top is always intimidating. I really want to hit my land drops here, that's why I kept the land on top. And I can go like Kindred Denial, and then Seeking doesn't shuffle my deck. So that's pretty good. And now we get a 5-drop out of our deck, which is great. Oh no, it does shuffle my deck. Wait, was there? Oh no, yeah, see? Maybe that was also just totally random. So I can go Shark Typhoon here and then followed up with Metallurgic Summonings to try to combat them. Since Ugin is gone, I'm actually not fearing the Esika that much. Okay, Zenithar is fine. Honestly, just followed up with the Summonings and try to like beat them on the board. Oh, that's a good one off the top. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I probably just bounce the Zenithar on my turn. Yep. Okay. Or maybe do I? Could also. That's tricky. Kind of want to hit my land drops here for the hole. I think I'm kind of fine. Like, I think the Zenithar is much more intimidating here. Thanks. Bridge. I'm just making so many creatures per turn now. And again, Ugin is gone from the format, so what are they going to get off the top? Yeah, that's just a lonely Craterhoof. Like, I don't care about that. That would have been devastating with a Zenithar on the board, though. But not like that. Ooh, Coma is a good one. But again, yeah, no blocks. Kind of inclined to just go with... Can you please stop that? Thank you, cat. Yep. Honestly, just attack them in the air. Do I play around Spell Pierce? No, they don't have blue up. So I just swing it in the air, and then I think Blue Suns is the better card here. It digs one less deep, but it gets shuffled into the deck, so I can draw it later. Maybe hiding the information here was correct, though. Yep. Sure, Liliana, Waker of the Dead.
You wish you had a fraction of my
Chromatic Lantern, yep. Like, these two cards together just generate so much stuff here, right? I do enjoy the discover of the formula here. Also gives me the possibility to get a bounce spell and then bounce Zenithar again, so I can play cards in their turn. Yep.
You can scream if it hurts.
And now I have 8/8s as well. Yep. If they want to, like... Okay, that's fine. We go with land, discover... Just do it in my turn because I can't cast spells during their turn with Zenithar up. Yep, more big guys where those are coming from. Yep. Bounce spell. Bounce spell was so amazing. And it is amazing. It is amazing. I don't think I need the card. Yeah. Just going to blink the Zenithar so I have Miscast and Wash Away and Essence Scatter and like all those cool things up in my turn. Yep. Tapping down the 8/8. That is absolutely fine. And then tapping down that 8/8 as well. Sure. Yep. And I just swing it in the air. And honestly, I don't care if I discard a card. So... Yep. Kill you. And now I have... Yeah, Basri, I don't care. Now I have Essence Scatter with Miscast backup. Yeah, sure. Essence Scatter. Yep, and that is the GG. Yeah, we found our opening and we used it. Threat Assessment 101. GG. We are ready to play against Sith's Harvest Hand. And yeah, this is a beautiful opening hand. I will keep this. And is this a hand? Yeah, this is probably just a hand where I also just this is a hand where I like the Jawari Disruption here. Authority of Consoles, yeah, I don't care about that. Okay. Go with Brawl, Life Disruption up. Beautiful. Sithis? I could just bounce the Sithis, but then the Disruption won't be effective, so... Because then they have another land drop next turn. What are you doing? Goodbye. Yep. Yes, we draw and we discard, and... Lots of good cards here, honestly. Maybe it's... I kind of like the Archmage's Charm. What do I solve for? Just like, I have everything I want, so I think the solve will go. I don't have the mana right now to do anything like that. Yeah, Think Twice draws 2 as well as Archmage's Charm, so... Yeah, we just keep up 2 mana here. Like, here it was good that, like, I'm not sure if there is a land on top, so... Sure, I can Memory Lapse that, I can Syncopate it. Like, I feel like just exiling it might be decent. Could also just unsummon it, but like, I feel like the unsummon. Yeah, just lapse it, I guess. In case they need, like, more land drops. Draw. And we discard a... Maybe the Charm. Maybe it is the Charm. I'm not sure. I'm unsure. I feel like I'm just going to think twice for a land here. If I don't get another one. Yeah, sure. Land drop. Okay. But we have a bunch of interaction up here, so I'm kind of fine. Can Syncopate for 1. Felidar Retreat gets hit with a spell Pierce, don't mind if I do. Yep. Just not having land drops early is... pretty awful. But now we have lands. Now we would love to have the Archmage's Charm here in that case, obviously, but I wasn't sure which threat we were going to face, so that's why I kept a variety of counterspells here. Honestly, I'm just going to wash away that. Could also... I'm just going to wash away that. Because then I still have Syncopate. Okay, and they surrender. They don't like that. Understandably so. GG. We are ready to play against Kiora. And let's see. Hand's kind of bad. Although, I can bounce their mana dorks. And maybe they just assume that I have counterspells. That's always the fun part if you don't have counterspells, but they think you have counterspells and then they play their bad card first and I don't need to counter them. Yeah. It's kind of risky. But I do like Fading Hope on turn, like Unsummon. Like if they go like Alano Elves here, I have something against the turn 2 Kiora. Because then they don't get turn 2 Kiora, if that makes sense. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in an earlier game, but I noticed a severe lack of blue decks in the last couple of videos. So that's why I decided to hit you guys with the beautiful Baral, Chief of Compliance. I guess we can mulligan though. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, let's mulligan. Okay, that's decent. Sphinx of Foresight revealing, that's good. Please, cat, do not nibble on the cables. Oh, yeah, my thumb is fine, but do it when you're like here and not in front of the skin. Okay. Play land. So the question is... No, I think I will just keep mana up. Abundant Harvest. Oh, you see? If they're missing land drops, then countering this is actually pretty effective, right? Because they want to hit their land drops. Maybe this is a bait. Maybe they just like try to sneak in the Kiora right now. Let's see, do they do for land or non-land? Oh, they did it for land. Nope. Okay. If they play Kiora, I just counterspell it. Because that's a lot of card advantage. I can Whelming Wave the creatures later. I just don't want them to get too many cards here. And obviously ramp. And now I can go Baral Unsubstantiate, which is pretty great. But honestly, Signate does fulfill the same role as Baral right now. Sure, let's Unsubstantiate. And they get to sneak in a Sphinx of Foresight into play, but only, yeah, if they have an untapped blue source, and they do not have that. That is pretty great. Now I can Baral, hold up the Dispute. That's fine. Yep. And I could Into the Roil, but honestly, I think this is fine as is. Because if they go like blue land, put the Sphinx on the stack, then I'm... Ah, it's interesting. Wolf Willow Haven, sure. Get to have that. Sphinx. Interesting. Kind of fine with it because I have the Whelming Wave. The question, I think I also want to keep the Into the Roil here. Yep, beautiful. So now I can also just Into the Roil the Elysian Caryatid. That costs me 3 mana. Sure. Seems fine. Can they do something with that mana at instant speed? Maybe they can. Yeah, so I should have done it in my turn. But now, if they try to play the Caryatid again, I can counter it with a Dispute, which is pretty great. So I'm fine doing that. But maybe I should have given them the option of doing this. Ooh, Rebuke is beautiful. Yes, don't mind if I do. Honestly, best draw here next turn would be a land. As usual. Signet. I kind of want to counter that. But at the same time, I'm going to Rebuke it, right? And then hold up the... hold up Mystical Dispute to protect the Rebuke, which is probably better. Because Rebuke also returns their Wolf Willow Haven, their Caryatid, if they have something like that on the field. Mindstone, yep. Sets them back so much. Graven Lore. Or you just pay with Force Snow. Narset I don't need. And then guess I want the Essence Scatter. Yeah, Essence Scatter, and that I hold up Essence Scatter and Mystical Dispute, which is pretty great. Yep. No attacks. This is not a game that just gets decided by the damage, and I don't know what they could have here. Yep. I'm going to let all the ramp resolve here, including Kiora probably. I can counter most of the problematic creatures. This will just set them back so much, because they haven't been able to hit actual land drops. Maybe I think just passing the turn might be a smart play here, because then they have the Memory Deluge. Sure, I let you resolve, I don't care. No, they have 4 mana up.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
Elysian created. Find the path. Ooh. Yep. I think you guys know what I'm thinking about this. It is going to get Rivers rebuked and it's going to be beautiful. Yep. Yep. Rebuke you. Everything to hand here. And that just sets the back a ton. Yep. Sure, let's attack with Baral. Again, like I attacking with Baral really doesn't matter, I think. But maybe I will eat my words when it, like, I'm trying to kill them with a Shark Typhoon and they can, like, they live with 1 HP and then... Now this is interesting. I could dispute this. That puts above so much mana this turn. But I feel like I can just, like, dispute the find the path or whatever. Signet, sure. Now I can actually counter the Signet and put them off mana. Yep. And I don't think I will need the Whelming Wave here. Might be a bit greedy. 3 added, sure. More lands. Okay. Do I want to use this Baral in my main phase? In this Charm in my main phase? I don't think there is any use for that because everything here is instant and I already made my land drop. So this Hall of the Storm Giants would be annoying. In theory, it's also annoying in practice, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, Kiora. Sure. But it's 2 more mana each turn, which is kind of scary. I think I'm going to dismiss it. Yep. And use the Baral trigger. Yep. Ooh, Solve is amazing. Scatter. Honestly, I'm just going to draw off of these 2 next turn. And I'm just like at the end step, and then I'm sure. Let's use the Scatter. It's also putting them off 1 mana here. Should have used Charm first. Yep. Like, use Charm in response to that, but then I was open to like a Spell Pierce or something like that, right? So, like, there were some ups and downsides to that. So if I can solve the equation for a draw spell here, that seems pretty fine. Yeah. If I solve for, I can also search for Temporal Sundering, but that won't do me too much. So I'm missing 1 mana to go Time Warp, discover the formula and play the Time Warp. I do like the pull from tomorrow here. Just as a value engine. Like, I'm just trying to like super fill up my hand here and then like I let both of these creatures resolve here and then just have a full hand. And I have like some recursion. I can like get River's Rebuke back. If I get Mission Briefing, for example, that would be pretty good. Their best play might just be like activating Storm Giants, crash in for 7. That's a 3-turn clock right now. I don't like that card though. So let's X equals 4. So that taps 5 mana. And if they like now. Okay, that is not amazing for us at all. Okay, now we're getting into the problematic territory. Because that also puts me off mana next turn. Find the path. Oh, yeah. And that's almost lethal next to because they can attack. They can attack with the hull. They. Where did it all go wrong? Honestly, it's not that bad right now. It's just a bit bad. Just play the Baral again. And then I can search for his counter. And if they like play non-creature, I can actually discover the formula afterwards. I feel like this counter is more important than discover, but that might just be way too greedy. Like now they hit me with like they kill the search for his counter, right? But that now I have one more mana next turn. Just play any non-creature that I can counter here. Territorial Allosaurus is not that non-creature. Ay. Okay. Prey? Board wipe, come on. I know you want a deck. If they have a counterspell, they use it now. Can still opt into a board wipe. I believe that does it, yeah. Can activate the hull. GG. Where did it go wrong? I feel like maybe I should have been greedy with this can't and just go instantly into the this cover to be able to counter things. GG. We are ready to play against Captain Sisse, and hopefully this opponent does not surrender immediately. Like 50 to 60% of these games, people just surrendered instantly. I do like Tails, and I do like most of these cards. So let's just keep it. We only need like another land drop, and then we're fine. Because after that, we just start countering with Baral on the field, and then we can just draw a discard. And this is likely just a Baral on curve, because I just need to keep the commander and their few threats on under control instead of dealing with the mana drops. And then I can also, like, if this was white, then I would probably respect the what's it called? Mana Tithe. But as is, I'm super fine. And if they really had a problematic 2-drop, I could have still unsubstantiated it, right? So that's fine. Now the big think begins, right? That gets rid of my midnight clock. That's kind of sad. But I think that's also fine. And yeah, I can Tails End that, and then try to refill. Sure, Tails End it is. Still have some counters here available. Oh yeah, beautiful. I was going to say, if I didn't draw a land here, I would have probably just Supreme Willed for a land. Okay. Night of Autumn. Yeah, we probably Supreme Willed that. Yep. We really don't need the Whelming Wave right now, and I just want to like crack this midnight clock here. Yep, draw, need Whelming Wave, rather have a land. Yep, and start putting counters on the clock. Tick tock. Yep, another land, beautiful. And like, they don't know that we only have like one soft counter to Sisse in hand. So that's pretty good for us. Toski. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Because I can just keep blocking that with Baral. And then I can counter whatever like buff they put on Toski in case like Brawl blocks and they want to kill the Brawl, or like even if they just like invest everything into like pumping the Toski in the combat step to kill Brawl, I can just replay it. Yep, sensor. And now I'm going to show you a little trick. So in this situation, I'm not going to crack the midnight clock in their end step. I want to let it get cracked on the upkeep by the upkeep trigger. So I'm going to... Okay. Yeah, they surrendered, but just to reiterate. So I could activate midnight clock twice here in their end step. So I draw my whole hand, but like a new hand. But this also just happens if I have let it on 11 and go into my turn. So what I can do then is I float the 1 mana in response. So now I have 1 more mana just on my upkeep, goes to 12, I redraw, and then I can use this 1 mana just on a like instant speed draw spell. So that's one way you get a bit more mana during your turn. Yeah, GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And yeah, Baral, Chief of Compliance, still a pretty strong card and a force to be reckoned with. People say that he is extremely unfun to play against. This is personally not my opinion. I actually do enjoy playing against Baral, even if I'm not playing a counterspell deck. But I do acknowledge that more often than not, only one person has fun on the table, because really, people do really hate this guy. If you want to play this deck on a budget, what can you cut? What do you need? Let's see. So you don't need the time warp, right? You don't need the extra turns. Those are like minor. Like these are actually minor cuts. And as you can see, I would also cut like Auron's Epiphany after the nerfs. Like you really don't need the extra turns for this deck. What you do need, however, one of the best cards in the deck is Mox Amber, because it allows you to like play turn 2, then Baral and hold up a 2-mana counterspell. That's just amazing. I think you need the board wipes. These are pretty important for the deck to help you catch up. And you need some finishers, but you can exchange these finishers for other cards. So like you don't need specifically Magic Mirror, but you can like basically insert a Planeswalker in here, for example. It's going to be a bit weaker than Magic Mirror, because this deck also thrives off giving the opponent as little targets with their removal spells as possible. But yeah, you basically want some finishers. The best one obviously is Hullbreaker Horror, and you can see what like Shark Typhoon and Metallurgic Summoning can do, but again, you insert any finisher here. What you also really want is the instant speed draw spells, and like cards like counter spells. It's good in the deck obviously, but you can like replace a bunch of these like disallow counter spells. There are a bunch of like 3-mana double blue counter spells that you can replace them with and have a similar success. Yeah, and like the draw spells are also pretty good, like Blue Sun Zenith, Pull from Tomorrow, Discover the Formula. Those are pretty nasty, because you do tend to like run out of cards sometimes, and just resolving one of these will mostly give you the win, right? That's also why we play Dismiss and Kindred Denial, because we really want like the cantripping counterspell style to pull ahead in value. And Kindred Denial, actually, it has just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a 7. We have a 9. So we're basically just missing an 8. But with Ugin gone, how many 8 drops are you going to counter? So yeah, this will basically always give you a card, which is great, honestly. Yeah. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's deck. If you want to feel a bit evil, this is basically what you bring to the table. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow.